Bitcoin just dropped about 23% in the last few weeks alone, but with every dip comes some buying opportunities. So the big question is right now, are there some buying opportunities out there? We got a lot of things to talk about, including how the Dow Jones just dropped 1,000 points last Friday, where I locked in $53,000 in profits. And on top of that, we hit ApeCoin for a huge rally of 53% gain in our Telegram Wolf Alerts real-time trade alert group. So we got a lot of things to talk about. And more importantly, what are the top plays going forward from here? Let's get into it.
If you're looking for the next 100x crypto project to buy into, you have come to the right place. My name is Cameron Fous, and I have been a professional day trader for nearly 20 years. I deposited $20,000 into an account, and in just over a year, it's now worth nearly $2 million. On this channel, I'm going to present to you the best altcoins to buy, such as getting into Mana before it ripped 595%, getting into Dogecoin before it ran 15,000%. So if you want to hear about all the best trade opportunities first, hit that subscribe button, and more importantly, turn on the notifications bell so you can get these time-sensitive trade ideas immediately when my new videos go live.
All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Again, this is not financial advice, just me spitting out some ideas, sometimes making money, sometimes losing money, but most of the time making some pretty damn good calls, especially inside of the real-time trade alerts Wolfpack Telegram group. Link's going to be below. But let's just take a look at what's been going on Bitcoin, and let's just go through a history lesson to show you that I've been pretty spot on with calling the tops and when people should start looking to lock in profits and potentially going short and potentially start pulling back profits off the table and warning everyone that the top is here, okay? Let's not be ignorant to the very repetitive and pretty highly predictable trend reversals in the market. As I said on March 24th, I said, not too enthusiastic about ETH chart. Be cautious out there if you are heavily long. This double top and short-term breakdown of 13, 20, 50 moving average is not in favor of the bull trend. That was the pre-warning back into the next warning in the 50-day moving average breakdown, which then led to a 50 to 60% decline in Bitcoin. All your favorite altcoins dropped 90%. Here is another indication of me saying, hey, the average pullback in the last 9 dips since November 20th is 27%, giving us a pullback target of 48.6 prior to the warning. Then I said here, that's what you call a trend reversal and a bull trap on Bitcoin. What happened from there? Bitcoin and Ethereum both dropped 50 to 60%. Your favorite altcoins dropped 60 to 90%. What about here? Bitcoin rallying to 50%. What I say, current situation on Bitcoin tested the upper channel perfectly, pulling back out for resistance. I'm getting short here, okay? What happened from there? We ended up in a 22% decline. So this is a historical record of me not predicting, just looking at the current situation in the markets, understanding supply and demand, understanding what the chart is telling me, and then reacting to what the chart is telling me and preparing for that current situation. I actually had a little conversation with Raoul Pal. I highly respect. He's a super intelligent macro economist. I don't know how to say words anymore. The thing that I didn't agree and thought was highly risky for him when he was getting into Ethereum, and I removed the actual tweet from here, but I have the screenshot of it here. When Bitcoin was at 60K, when Ethereum was pushing up near 5K, he said, just so we are clear, I am more than irresponsibly long Ethereum right now. I now have a leverage, but via calls. This is by far the biggest personal position of my entire life by a factor of 10. So the biggest position he has had in his entire life, he just 10x'd it. And what I assume he was hoping for, which could have definitely 100% turned out to be a situation, was that he was hoping Bitcoin to break all-time highs at about 60K, shorts turn into a massive squeeze, and just the hysteria of everything involved in the crypto market to just make a massive run up to the 100K target that everybody was saying. Because he also later said in a tweet saying, my time horizon on this is about 6 to 9 months. So I assume he was hoping to see a massive short squeeze, of which I was not looking for, but I was potentially looking for that because after I saw him tweet that, I was like, maybe we could see an actually squeeze. He's pretty enthusiastic. Everybody's enthusiastic. And at this point right here, I was thinking, okay, this might actually happen and he might actually be right. But as soon as we failed to hold that high, that turned into a confirmed bull trap for Bitcoin. And that's why I said here, that's what we call a trend reversal on Ethereum and a bull trap on Bitcoin. When you see bull traps off all-time highs, that typically is a huge short selling signal, okay? And that's when I got basically sold all my longs, got out of all my positions, said, you know what, this is fucked. I still had some of my hodl positions down to about 40s, high 50s, and said, okay, I'm done hodling. selling. This is the dumbest strategy in the history of human nature. So I'm 100% out. And he actually got a little butthurt saying that I was thrown him under the bus by highlighting this tweet. And I just basically said, hey guys, I'm just highlighting history, okay? And mad respect for you, but sometimes that looks like an irresponsible call to me. Brief interruption from today's partner, none other than metasnacks.org. Who doesn't love Pop-Tarts? And if you're in crypto, who doesn't love NFTs? That's what we're combining here today with Metasnacks' 10,000 3D NFTs in 4K resolution. They're also releasing some super cool rare versions. They're going to be animated, such as you see here. In addition, they're also going to be giving away free version 2 Metasnacks for NFT owners who own 3 of the V1 NFT mints that are coming up soon. They're also doing something super cool with their unlocked staking system with ETH rewards, right? A lot of times during the staking process, they're giving away some actual shitcoin. Here, they're actually giving away Ethereum for the actual staking rewards. So as the project grows and the initial minters begin selling or unstaking their Metasnack NFTs, the number of stakers will decrease. In turn, this will cause an exponential growth in staking rewards for those who are true WAGMI hodlers. Because basically, how it's gonna work is every 30 days after minting closes, 50% of all the OpenSea secondary sale royalties will be divided amongst the remaining stakers who are actually still holding the NFTs. Another cool thing is that as soon as you mint, you are automatically staking the NFT of the Metasnack. You don't actually have to do anything about that. Some of the main roadmap things that are coming up is they're doing a bunch of giveaways, such as giving away a bunch of Ethereum, and all the way down at the bottom of their roadmap, they're giving away a Mutant Ape Yacht Club NFT plus an additional $50,000 in Ethereum. This is the current team that has been making the Metasnacks NFTs, which is a group of homies, which is cool to see. We got Oliver, who is the founder, Chen, the social media manager, and then also the artist, Dr. Adon, if that's how you pronounce his name, which has got some really cool artwork. And it's also cool to see that he's working with some big names. But anyways, guys, definitely check out metasnacks.org, a upcoming NFT 10,000 collection drop. Looking really cool. You also have the chance to win a Mutant 8 YOP NFT plus $50,000 in Ethereum. Get ready for the upcoming mint. So that's just the current situation, the historical record of Bitcoin and trying to predict the tops, or not necessarily predict, but identify situations and then react to those situations by managing the risk and taking the short-term trade within the overall trend, right? Because as I said before, whether Bitcoin goes to 5K or 100K in the next year, it doesn't matter. That's not the trade I'm looking for. What I'm looking for are all the short-term opportunities in between those big moves. Okay. It doesn't matter to me where it goes, but all I'm looking for is a short-term opportunities in between. And the latest short-term opportunity that we've seen on Bitcoin is this retest of this actual lower range channel right here. And I tweeted out when we got there, I started picking up some logs. I said, Bitcoin is entering the demand zone. Buying 36,000s is the higher probability trade for the short-term bounce. As always, use stops, trade smaller in bear markets, and look out below if levels don't hold. Okay. Because if you don't use stop losses, there's nothing wrong with being on the wrong side of the trade if you're using stop losses, because then if the trade goes against you, you stop out, you take your small loss and you walk away. And inside of bear markets, I am trading so much smaller. Typically a position to me, when we are in these markets here, when we are in this run right here, and we are in this run right here, my position sizes were sometimes 100K, sometimes upwards of $200,000 positions. And when we're in this situation right here, and all of this right here, I'm trading like $10,000 to $30,000 positions, okay? My position sizes are much smaller. I would rather trade much smaller in this high volatility and make just a little bit of money than try to bet 100 to 200K positions and be on the wrong side of this massive volatility. I would rather just keep my win rate up, keep my hit rate up, keep my losses small. And then when we do enter another one of these markets like this, of which we will, then I can go back with 100% confidence without a huge dent in my account and just go all in 100 to 200K positions again when the actual environment is right, and just absolutely crush it. And then keep my account going forward, as opposed to losing a bunch of money during this situation. And then from here, I'm down in a massive loss. And then I finally make my money back to break even when we're back up here. And this whole entire run, rather than me moving forward and making money, I'm just making back for stupid decisions that I tried to FOMO into a lot of positions back in here when the market environment was not catering to that situation. Okay. So trade smaller when the market is basically, if you look at the weekly chart, if we're below the 50-day moving average, if we're below the 20, 13, and 9 EMAs, trade small, okay? Because we're not in a bull market. So that's basically what I think you should do. And as of right now, as long as Bitcoin holds the 36.2 to the 37.1 level right here, as I said, right, this is the kind of the supply or the demand zone right here, we could easily see a bounce back up. And I did get long Bitcoin in the 37s here and already hit two targets. Two of my targets were 38.5 and 39-ish. My next target is about 40K on Bitcoin. And then from there, I think it's anybody's ball game here. You know, we're still under the Trendex trend right now. But, you know, if this actually does play out like this channel has been playing out, there is potential for this to come back up and retest 52K, which would also correlate to coming back into this supply zone up here. So that's definitely a possibility that I'm not counting out of the question. I think we're weighing very, very heavily, especially on US 30 right now, okay? Of which we saw a massive dip right into this demand zone here. I wish I would have been able to lock in some profits, but this all happened very quickly last night during the actual stock market open. Everything crashed, and now we're coming back up, retesting near the highs of this actual bear flag that's currently happening. Okay, and I'm currently short still on US 30. And if we look at locked in profits for the last month, you see that? So locked in profits for the last month was 53,000 on US 30. And I currently have an open position here. You guys can still hear me. I'm actually long silver and short US 30, just 0.10 lots from 35,345. You can see here. So that's the current situation. I'm still short that position on US 30, and I'm actually longed silver. And we'll go over the silver chart here in a second, okay? So overall, when we look at US 30, which definitely has a huge high correlation to what's gonna be happening in crypto, I think we're gonna be going lower on the US 30, okay? So right now, looking at US 30, we're trading in this kind of big channel right here. And so my ideal situation on US 30 to kind of lock in my profits, this last position, at first I wanted to see US 30 come back up into the 34.3s or so, and then I would add to that position. But we then all had that huge sell-off last Friday where we dropped about 1,000 points. But as of right now, I would like it come back up into mid 33s, retest this level right here. And if we wash out below these levels, look out below, because we're going to be heading towards 31 to 30K. Basically come back down and retest the lower channel of this channel. And we could potentially go a lot lower than that. There's still a lot of room for the US 30 to actually drop. We look closer at like the DJI. And just to give you a little historical record of me calling out this big washout in the Dow Jones 30, of which, you know, coming back down to these previous highs about 29, or these lows here, which is a big support zone on US 30 at about 26K. We can see here, this zone here, and also this low peak here at about 26.5. The low of the coronavirus, right, was 18. So anywhere between this zone right here, I think we could pull back if we do see an actual big drop in the markets. But right now, looking at the weekly chart here on US 30, we could see a potential bounce back up into the Trendex, which is about 34 to 34.3 as well. But just looking at the historical record, warning everyone of potential collapse coming. September 21st, just looking at the stock market indexes for the first time, I don't know how long, but implosion pending 21, 22. Who is ready for the stock market crash? I've been waiting. US 30 weekly, looking bearish. If we close this way, boom. US 30 pullback incoming. Bitcoin will melt with it. Short crypto and stocks, long gold and silver, of which gold and silver have actually taken a dump as well. Sell your shitty NFT JPEGs. There'll be a better dip buying opportunity. What happened after that? US 30 and Bitcoin all took a massive dump as well, in which I locked in $53,000 in profits on that US 30 position. Okay, so as of right now, I think the higher probability would be that we do see a short-term bounce in US 30, which would potentially lead to a short-term bounce in Bitcoin if we actually hold this actual trend here and we actually see a nice bounce up, maybe into 40K, of which, you know, there's also the 50-day moving average, which is also now a pivot point. If we actually look at the chart here, right here, and here, all at about 42K is going to be a strong resistance point where we might bounce back up into, which would be a potential next level of shorting opportunity for an actual crack and breakdown here to 30K on Bitcoin. And if we look at the weekly chart here on BTC, I'm still looking for this descending triangle breakdown, okay? I'm thinking potentially that we could have this channel here, this descending trend, form up into a descending triangle here on Bitcoin. And if and when this does happen, guys, look out below because shit's about to get wild, right? Potentially come back up, retest 30K, retest here again, and then just absolutely get clobbered down to the 2017 lows, about 19K, potentially even as low as down here of 10K and below here. Brief interruption from today's partner, none other than Meme Kong, which is the king of all meme Kongs with a current market cap of 15.8 million. We're looking at the chart here. We had that first initial run up, and if we break out of this wedge pattern, that could be a signal to the upside for the next leg up. Looking at the chart here on Dex Tools, but to get even deeper into what this is, the days of anonymity without accountability are over. No more rug pulls, folks. They're really focused on building a strong community with real utility, in which they're calling a hybrid token. If you want to know how they build confidence, they're using credibility, accessibility, integrity, and community. So some of the upcoming things that are going on, they're doing the first of a kind supercar rally in crypto. If you go here to the Race Armada, this actually looks pretty cool, would probably be super fun event. And as you can see here, it's a 4-day, September 17th through the 20th, starting in Denver, Colorado, going all over the place, such as the Four Seasons in Aspen as well. So overall, that's probably going to be pretty cool. In addition to that, guys, they're doing a bunch of AMAs to really connect with the community. And on top of that, they got some really cool stuff coming up in the projects and roadmap. One being the VC Launchpad, pre-sale and whitelist opportunities for vetted crypto and NFT metaverse projects. They also have the Lootverse metaverse integration for the upcoming games they're building, Kong Kingdom, Kong Cosium, and Kong Poker, which are 2 games in the development and incoming, one P2E and one P2E and B games that are in development. They also have the incoming social engagement focused Meme Kong wallet. So if you want to learn more about Meme Kong, definitely go to memekong.io, join their Telegram, and if you want to purchase the MKong token, you can also do it here on Coinbase, MetaMask, or Uniswap. Anyways, that's a wrap from today's partner, memekong.io. And if we get down in this range here, this is where you're going to want to start buying the effing dip and load up. And this is when I might actually get out of my $2 million DeFi yield account and start actually buying in heavily into crypto. So this is just, screenshot this. Okay. Let's see if the historical record will play out like this. I've been pretty correct if you look at all my past tweets, okay, about what's happening. And I definitely think this scenario is the higher probability. Doesn't mean that it can't be wrong. As I said in the previous videos, right? And in this video just now, there is the possibility we bounce here, we come back up to 52K, okay? And if we break out above this blue line here on Bitcoin and get above 42.2, right? Remember the watermelon pattern of the past video. If we consolidate in this triangle here and we actually get a breakout here to the upside, that's a long signal for me. Doesn't mean that I'm thinking, oh, that's bull market's back 100K. It just means that the short-term signal right now is indicating potential long breakouts, and we can take advantage of that. So what are some current long breakout plays that we could be potentially playing? Well, 2 of them or 3 of them that I'm currently in. I actually just got stopped out of one. We'll take a look at Matic here. Okay. So I've been looking at Matic to buy near $1 for a long time. And I just got in. Unfortunately, I got stopped out, right? We got in at about 104. We actually had a nice run up. And then I put my stop up after we were already up about 5%. I had put my stop up to break even. And then last night, while US 30 did this bullshit right here, there was the dip on Matic. I got long down here, 104. My stop was just below that level here at about break even 104.5. And I got stopped out right here. And now we're still consolidating into this triangle pattern. So I still definitely think Matic down here at $1 is a pretty high probable trade that we could definitely break out as long as it forms up in this triangle pattern, holds above these lows, potential breakout up here, which would then send it up to about, the next resistance levels coming in here back to about 125, which would also be retesting the Trendex indicator trend. So I still think there is definitely a high probability as we retested these lows in this range of this pivot point down here on Matic that we could definitely see a 20 to 30% rally here on Matic. Unfortunately, I stopped out. I might get back in, but as of right now, I stopped out on volatility. The next one that I'm looking at here is on Sandbox, which we called out perfectly, getting short. Unfortunately, I stopped out of this also before the actual big move played out, which definitely happens from time to time. You have the perfect idea of what might happen, but due to, like I said, we're in very high volatility markets and sometimes easy to get stopped out before the move that you're looking for actually happens. If we look at Sand here, this position short 283, targets 230, 214, and $2 per coin. You can actually look at this chart that we traded here. Okay, this was the current situation on sand. This is the exact pattern that I'm looking for in Bitcoin that I just played out, right? Long-term descending triangle formation, getting short near the trend X indicator here, then watching the washout into a whole number at about $2 per coin. This is exactly what we were looking for. Unfortunately, there was a massive run on Bitcoin prior to this happening, squeezing me out on the short side. And then if you look at actually what happened here on sand, this actually played out right into under $2 per coin. 179 was the low, right? So that was a perfect shorting opportunity, descending triangle breakdown, the exact same pattern that we're looking for Bitcoin to actually break down at 30K and just get absolutely clobbered. Perfect setup that we're looking at here on sand, and that actual pattern playing out where we just washed out quickly. Then now I'm buying into the level where I was looking to cover my short. So right now I'm in very small. I alerted, I said 12% position on sand, right? So not a huge position. On Bitcoin, we already locked in 2 profit target levels because we did buy Bitcoin. I only did $25,000 position on Bitcoin, but looking at sand right now, similar situation, right? We saw the washout. I always looked for, if you're buying the dip or shorting a spike, you don't just, think, okay, like right here, this looks like a good time to buy or a good time to short. You want to see a massive washout, right? This is where the panic sets in, and this is where new buyers actually come in as well. Okay, so that's why we waited for an actual capitulation, washout, huge volume spike where a lot of people are panicking. All this means is that this is panic and a lot of stops being taken out. So now we're stop hunting, looking for stops to be taken out, and then we buy the actual dip into a support level, got in at 197. Now we're looking for the first profit target about 224. That's 75% position in profit. And then I'll continually move my stop up as price action goes up for the last 25% of this position. Bitcoin, we bought in the dip here in the 37s, or I think 37,910 was our entry price. And my profit targets, as I mentioned in the Telegram group, were 38.5 and 39 and 40K. So we already hit 38.5, and then we also hit barely just over 39K. So I locked in profits at about 38,950, I believe it was. And now I've moved my stop into profitability. So I'm not going to lose on this position. For me, it's always flat or forward on any of my positions. As soon as the asset goes into profitability above like certain levels, I like to move my stops up into profitability, where if I get stopped out, I don't lose any money. I can reevaluate if I want to get back in. A lot of times I don't get back in, but at least I don't lose any money and I don't see any drawdown in my account, and I can keep moving forward with confidence without having to have this massive loss and then be like, oh shit, now I got to make up for that loss on the next trade. Now on the next trade, there's nothing to make up for because I didn't allow myself to have any losses on that trade. So who knows what's going to happen here on Bitcoin right now. We're just kind of waiting to see if this actual support level holds on this lower channel on Bitcoin, and we actually start pushing back up. And then if we get up to about 40K ish, potentially the next real stronger resistance level is about 42, but I would lock in my profit probably at 40K if we get there, just because that's a psychological whole number of which we have been, struggling to stay above. And so we might not actually get back above that level. We might just actually crack below this ascending trend and just wash out to 30K. And again, the same pattern that we traded short on sand, guys. That's exactly what we're playing out here on Bitcoin. Long-term descending triangle. If we crack through 30K, it's going to be an instant, very short-term washout right to 20K. From there, it's anybody's guess if we flag there again and then wash out again to the 20 to even 10K potential lows. All potential scenarios, okay? So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. Sand, Matic, potential dip buys, Ape. We fucking ripped this thing from about $18 per coin here and rode this all the way up. I was asleep at 27.53, woke up, locked in my profit at about 23.3. I just posted about this in Twitter the other day. So there are opportunities out there. You just got to, pick and choose and manage the risk, right? I said Ape now 46% off its highs, sold that shit coin in the 23s. What goes up always comes down 100% of the time. This guy says screenshot of you selling your Ape coin. Doesn't believe it. Okay, so here's a screenshot. It said morning waking up to Ape ripping, stop move to 23. Would have sold higher if I was awake. An hour later, I said fully out of Ape at 23.33, right? So Ape went as high as $28 or 27.5. I didn't sell up there. I was asleep, so I sold at 23.3 from our 18 alert inside of our Wolfpack group. There's a lot of opportunities out there, guys, and right now the higher probability trade is that we do see a bounce, of which also could be a bounce here on US 30, of which I'm still short, but I would potentially look to get short again if we come back up into the resistance levels on US 30. There's a lot of potential bounce opportunities on Sol.dot, also ENJ right now back down here at $1, retesting the support level levels. So those are some of the few plays that I'm still watching, right? If we flag here, look for these flags. We're seeing a lot of flags, which could be a bull flag or a bear flag. We don't really know how it's going to play out, but whatever way these flags break on a lot of these plays, similar to Matic, similar to Sand, is going to be the indicator of where we're going to see a short-term spike to lock in profits for a 1 to 2 day trade. For Matic, we don't know what's going to happen, but if it breaks out to the upside of this flag, right, probably hit the next pivot point of about 120 upwards of 130. But if we actually break down to the downside of this flag out here, okay, we're probably going to 70. It's not, this is what's going to happen, right? I think the higher probability trade right now is to the upside after we see I saw just a 22% decline in Bitcoin, US 30 dumped. There's probably going to be some sort of short-term bounce. So the higher probability probably would be the upside, but there's also a lot of fear in the air. So we don't exactly know, but you can play either way, right? We react to what's happening. So such as ENJ, break out to the upside of here, you can take 10 to 20 cents out of this trade. Break it to the downside, you can short this, take 10 to 20 cents to the downside, right? Just manage risk, react to trades, and just trade small, okay? Because trading big in high volatility markets like we are now, trading big in bear markets is a big no-no. I did trade a little bit big on US 30, locked in 53K. I have an open position profit of, 20K. So it's definitely possible. One last trade that we're going to be looking at here, guys, is XAG. Been talking about this for a while. As I said in that tweet before, I said, sell your stocks, sell your crypto, get long silver and gold. We could definitely see a bounce here. I started getting in long here, and then I just bought another lot here at about 22.20, as I showed you in the screenshot, and I'll even buy as low as 21.50, and my stop's gonna be below these lows, okay? So that's my trade on silver. We're then probably gonna come back up and retest the descending trend. If we break out above this descending trend, we're heading towards all-time highs, in which my watch collection is going to start thriving, because gold is also going to start pumping as well, of which currently I got about 155K watch collection. Okay. Just bought the new Rolex GMT2, got the Panerai, which doesn't appreciate much in value, but it's a cheaper watch and I just like the way they look. So this is more of a wearing watch, but these two are both investments. I bought the Rolex Day-Date 40 at 55K. I'm up 25%. I just purchased the GMT Master 2 at about 66K, which is a little bit higher and later in the game. So there could be a little bit of a drawdown on the GMT. But overall, I think silver and gold are going to pump to all-time highs sometime this year. So I'm also potentially looking at gold to get in. I would like to more so get in down here towards a 50-day moving average at about this support level on gold here. Down in this range would be the most ideal situation, okay? Down in this pivot area right here. Come back into the 50-day moving average, which then would likely give us the situation to come back up, retest all-time highs at about 2075, and then pump to all-time brand new highs. If we look back at the weekly chart, even go to the monthly chart here on gold, it's hard to say what's going to happen, right? This could be a bear trap if we don't get a confirmed move up here. But if Bitcoin keeps dropping, if US 30 keeps dropping, and we continue to go into a bear market, I think that's going to pump gold and silver to all-time highs, of which I do think Bitcoin and US 30 are going to keep dropping throughout this year. And so that leads me to believe that gold and silver would be a better option to buy and trade. For a longer term hold, I'm buying watches, buying gold. So anyways, guys, that's a wrap for today's video. Long gold and silver. Right now, we have a short-term bounce opportunity on US 30. Right now, we have a short-term bounce opportunity on Bitcoin, which also gives you the opportunity for the short-term bounce on your favorite altcoins, which are mostly flagging on the daily charts. Look at like a 45-minute to an hour to 30-minute chart on these. If they break to the upside, that's a short-term opportunity to hit the trade for the next pivot point, which would be about, Matic would be about 125-ish, okay? This is happening, same exact pattern across the board on most of your altcoins. Just pick and choose what's your favorite. Look for the flag, buy the breakout, short the breakdown. Anyways, guys, that's a wrap for today. See you in the next one. Like, comment, subscribe. Stretch out the juice.